Hey folks, welcome to a brand new episode of 8181 IT. My name is Savio, and on today's episode, I'm going to do an unboxing of the MX500 from Crucial. The MX500 from Crucial is a solid-state drive and SSD, and I'm going to do the unboxing, and I'm going to show you also how to format this drive and put it in the casing before formatting, or as you call it, the enclosure. So stick around to find out how it's done. Okay, so first things first, that is the MX500 from Crucial, and it's a 500 gigabyte solid state drive. As you can see, it's absolutely brand new in the packaging, and what I'm gonna do is gonna start by just opening this little tab here. What you get here is a nice enclosure to protect your solid state drive from Crucial. Just a minimal packaging, but it protects your device. So I'm going to take this off and just have to pull this one apart, and it comes out, as you can see, it's really easy to take apart. And it also comes with a little enclosure. I want to call this like a little plastic hinge to hold your solid state drive, because when it's an internal solid state drive, you might require this. It might come into play. And of course it comes with its own kind of like a manual and something I don't really read. And of course, here is your beautiful, beautiful solid state drive from Crucial. Absolutely fantastic. If you want to see how thick it is or thin it is, this is what it looks like. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it in its own enclosure. And I have this enclosure from this brand called Sabrent. So that's the enclosure I'm going to put it in. This is an old hard drive. As you can see, it's an old hard drive. And I don't really need it to be in this enclosure, so I'm going to take this one off, and it's really simple to remove. Okay, it's by this brand called Sabrent, and all you have to do is just slide it, push it from here, from underneath. Okay, like so. You just push it there, and it should slide out. And then what I would do is I would just make sure you don't break this. You'd be really careful with this section here. Okay, where my index finger is. Okay, you might have to use a little bit of force, but when you're using force, make sure it's lifted up a little, okay, just a little above the enclosure, and pull it. That's what it looks like without the drive in. Now, I'm going to bring the solid state drive back and lift it up from its encasing, from the packaging, and this section here has to get into that section. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. So put that section in first. Once you've slid it, just press down. Okay, pretty much it should be nice and secure. All you have to do next is just slide this one back in. You're good to go. It's got its new solid state drive in. What I'm going to show you next is how to format this solid state drive. Okay, so this has this connection, the USB connection here. This drive is going to be lit like so, and it's going to start reading the data that's on it. Okay, so as you can see, it didn't really recognize the drive because I don't see the drive here at all. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to the disk management. So now that I'm on disk management, there you go. As you can see, so what it shows on the screen now is you must initialize a disk before Logical Disk Manager can access it. And it comes up as select disk 1. What you can see here is MBR, which is the master boot record, or GPT, which is the GUID partition table. It also does warn you that the GPT partition style is not recognized by all previous versions of Windows. What I want to do is I want to stick to MBR. And also what you'll see here, as you can see there, this one is unknown, 465.76 gigabytes, not initialized. And it's going to come up as unallocated. It's also, notice the color is black, while this 0, which is the operating system, this one here is a basic, it's online, and it's in blue. Okay, so notice the difference between the colors. So there itself, you know that this disk is unknown, it's not initialized. Once you initialize this disk and give it a volume name or letter, that's when it's going to be initialized and turn to blue. So let's do with MBR. It's already selected. Click OK. When I clicked on OK, this one is now online. It's still unallocated. So what we need to do is we need to allocate this disk. Now there are several ways of doing it as well. If you want, you can do it using command prompt, or you can also do it from here itself. Okay, so if I right click on it, on this section over here, I've just right clicked on it, and if I click on new simple volume, it's gonna give me a wizard. Okay, and the wizard will tell me welcome to the new simple volume wizard. It helps you create a simple volume on a disk. I'm gonna click on next, and I'm gonna keep settings as they are. Click on next. Now it's gonna assign the following drive letter. I'm gonna keep it as F. That's fine because all these are being used up. As you can see, this one is G, this one is D, and the computer itself is going to assign a letter. So keep it as whatever it is. Doesn't really matter what letter it is, okay? Click on next. Now it comes up as format this volume with the following settings. File system NTFS. You want to keep it as NTFS because you'll be able to copy files which are above above 4 gigabytes worth of data in them. However, if you switch it over to maybe an exFAT, you won't be able to do the same. There's a restriction. exFAT, I usually use it if I'm using a Mac on this computer, on this solid state drive. If I want it to be Mac compatible and Windows compatible at the same time, that's when I will use exFAT. But since I only want this disk to be used for a Windows computer, I'm going to keep it as NTFS. Allocation unit size is going to be default. I don't want to make any changes to that. Volume label, you can put it as new volume, or you can make her, you can just name it as whatever you want it. Let me just rename it to SSD, maybe 500, because it's 500 gigabytes. So I'm going to keep it as SSD 500. If you want, you can change it. If you want, you can keep it as new volume. Doesn't really matter. What I like doing, since there's no data on the disk ever, it's a brand new from the factory, perform a quick format. There's no need to uncheck this box, because there's no data, there's nothing to erase on this disk. So perform a quick format, uncheck the other box. Of course, by default it is unchecked, and click next. Once you click next, it's just going to confirm exactly what you want to do. It's simple volume, select the disk is this one, volume size is blah blah blah, drive letter F, and of course what you named it, and quick format yes, enable file and folder compression no, and finish. So once you do this, it's going to quickly format this drive of 500 gigabytes of solid state drive. That's where you can see the little circle going round and round, formatting it. It shouldn't take too long. It should barely be in the next 10 seconds or so. There you go. And as you can see, it's turned blue. Okay, so basic, it comes up this one. We're looking at this one, the basic 465.76 gigabytes online. It still comes up as formatting. So we will wait for it to finish, and it looks like it has completed formatting, but I'm still looking at it as formatting. Just give it some more time. Just wait for it. As you can see, the little thing is still circling, and there you go. As you can see, it comes up now as SSD 500, healthy state, which is a primary partition, and it opens up into a folder where you can save your files. And so that's pretty much when you buy a new solid state drive or a hard drive, that's how you would format that. First things first, that's what you got to do. Those are the settings you would follow. And like I said, if it's exFAT, if you're using it for Mac and Windows, make sure you select exFAT, because if you don't, your files will not copy. Okay folks, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of 8181 IT on how to format a solid state drive. If you found this video useful, please make sure you subscribe to this channel, 8181 IT, or share, like, and comment on this video. If you have any questions, make sure you comment and I will help you out the best I can. Until next time, this is Xavier signing off. You take care and hope to speak to you soon in my next IT video. Bye for now.